Hi, Benny here. Everything we say in this podcast is based on evidence collected, true facts, and our honest opinion. No hate speech is involved. This is just our experience in the P&C. Any pictures of people are taken from public social media. Alright, so up to part 7. So as you can see, we're up to the new executives almost. So we are about to talk about our termination or what they did wrong to us. So bear with me because I am reading yet again. Oh, Ian's lovely work here. Okay. So in part 7, Denny and Craig's secrets start to come out. Right, now we all know who Denny is. She's that in the pink. Craig is the other one hanging on to her, I guess. Alright, so let's see how many rules and regulations they break. See how the kids of the school mean nothing to them. Listen to their dishonesty, bullshit, lies, and the shit they did to have us removed as executives. So part 7. On the 5th of September, the P&C General Committee meeting is held. The position of second VP is up for vote. The meeting starts at 6:15 p.m. as scheduled. By 6:30, nominations have started. Craig is nominated and voting is about to start. We are halfway through the voting when Denny out of nowhere nominates Michael as he comes walking through the door late. In the past 7 months, we have not seen Michael or his lazy wife at any P&C meeting until now. So guess it has been a plan between them. Denny obviously had a change of heart and fell for this sleaze. She wanted Michael as second VP. But in our original planning, Craig still won. I'm pretty sure the principal voted for Craig too. Not many like the sleazy people except Denny. When she had hearts in her eyes every time he was around. Was really starting to understand others on when they judged Denny and Michael's relationship. Well, hey, who would want laziness when you could have a drama queen instead, right? What a shame her lover couldn't make the call, but that's okay. He was still in control of things, and she still managed to wrap Craig around her slutty fingers. Michael just had to wait patiently until their vicious plans they did to Ian and myself came to light, so she could enjoy both of them in the exec positions. Sleazy Michael used to be the P&C president and vice president over the past years. Guessing from what people would say about him, that it was part reason why there was not many left in the association. We were told how useless he was back then. These are not our words, but words of other executives and members who were in the P&C at that time. Craig was voted in as second vice president at this meeting. He has now become Denny's new lapdog. Don't worry, Michael. You'll just have to wait your turn. You were on her lap too in no time. With Craig being voted in, this takes the number of executives to only 4, as Denny was keeping treasurer's role as well. So to clarify, Denny is president and treasurer. Craig and Ian are both vice presidents, and myself secretary. So 4 people in total. This number of executives will become confusing to Michael as we go. Oh, sorry. Confusing to sleazy Michael as we go. My error there, I apologise. Just like everything else, his thick head doesn't understand. Michael believes there's 5 executives now. Maybe Michael has special needs then, I'm not sure. But if he does, then I apologise again. During this P&C meeting, the school principal only suggests that if I need any help with the P&C Facebook page, I could always ask Holly, another P&C member Michael brought with him for the plans of attacking Ian and me later in the show. She was there for backup help if I needed it. I said thanks. If I need help, I will ask. Everyone in the meeting was happy with that. The next day in the canteen event chat, Denny comes in saying, I've made a new chat group for Denny, Holly and Benny, for some unknown reason. Denny goes on to say Holly comes from a communications and marketing background and also does photography, and she is willing to do professional photographs for the school. Okay, so here comes all the picks. So pick one. Where are we up to here? Let's blow this up. Oh, it's me saying, as for adding me to another chat group, to another chat group, I don't need to be there, as unless I need some help, I'll gladly reach out. Cheers. Denny's just dribbling on something else about who knows at this stage. And also the second pick, where I have stated again, I am happy for Holly to contact me. She doesn't need to go through you to do so. If it's suggestions and ideas, I'm happy to hear anyone out, so long as it's done right and no one is left in the dark like the past couple of weeks. I was referring to Denny and Michael, of course. You need to remember, not everyone can be in the exec team, but they can certainly approach us. Then Michael comes on the chat saying, can you add Holly to the P&C Facebook page? Why? Only executives control the page, not random people we don't know. It was only a suggestion for Holly to help me, if I needed it. Yet again, Michael has stuck his nose in where it doesn't belong. We later found out that Holly is one of Denny's minions. With all this praise and professional experience from Denny, all Holly actually did was jack shit. I must state this again, that the executives do not have the power to make decisions on their own. The executives only execute decisions made by all P&C committee members. The decision makers of the P&C Association are its committee members. It's been about 5 weeks now since Tracy was terminated, and now Tracy gets a phone call from one of the canteen suppliers asking when are they getting paid. Denny has not mentioned it to anyone about bills not being paid, so everyone, including the committee, believes everything's all good. On the 6th of September, Benny was having a conversation with the ex-VP Gabby after the P&C meeting the night before. In the meeting, it was brought up about getting a credit card for the canteen. Denny put a hold on this credit card because she could not trust Kayla with it, and said along the lines of she would just spend and spend. Alright, so here's a pic of me having a chat with Kayla. And I said to her, just a heads up, she doesn't believe she's in the wrong. Oh, why would she, right? She really gives the vibe of cold, heartless bitch. Now let me show you what the conversation was. Said, oh, and Denny, personally, I think you should apologise to Kayla after last night. You left her feeling hurt and ashamed, especially because it was done in front of everyone. But that's just me. She's not in a good headspace about it today and doesn't understand that if you don't trust her, why you couldn't say something to her privately. Anyway, just my opinion that I think you should reach out just to assure her all is okay, if it is. She says, I'm sorry, I never stated I don't trust anyone, but each to their own. Wow, huh? I said, I think she took it that way. That's all. Maybe just have a chat with her. She says, as stated in the past, Kayla is more than welcome to come and have a chat with me. I don't believe I was out of line in any occasion, as I do believe I would have been pulled up on it by our principal himself, and or Craig or any other paid member there. I said, well, I was just letting you know, and our principal did say something about it. And that was my response to Kayla. I said, I thought you better know. Okay, so later that day, we were chatting with the principal, and he advised us to take a step back from Denny and what she was doing. As we told the principal, Denny refuses to pay the canteen manager her entitlements because she says she can get fucked. As Ian told Denny that she could sue, but Denny didn't care. So with the principal's advice, we stepped away from Denny on that issue. Alright, pick 3 is me talking to Kayla about Denny's being a sneak. Alright, so let's see what this one is. Alright, I said, I think Denny is pushing for Mick to be VP. Unfortunately, if this is the sneak she's planning, both me and Ian quit. I'm actually really tired of how it's all turned. Ian tried to get us back on track, but it seems it really doesn't matter if you want to follow the PNC rules or not. On a second note, our principal, which is blocked out, requested us to step away from Denny and her shit regarding Natil, Tracy, and whatever other shit she has caused. Kayla said, sounds like good advice. Right, so there was an issue with the canteen till, but that's not our problem. We don't really care, so we're not going to get into it. So chatting with Gabby, she advised us before the next meeting to call the PNC Federation and get the number of the Federation lawyers and get all the information from them for what Denny was doing and what we could do to stop her or try and stop her from destroying the school and the association. But in saying this, the correct procedure for contacting the lawyer on retainer is to go through the PNC's Federation to get their magical advice. It says 3, the next pick, so let's see why. Okay. Oh, this is right. So chatting with Gabby, she advised us before, yes, I know this has been brought up again, but this is the routine of how our messages went before we were served. So again, chatting with Gabby, she advised us before the next meeting to call. I think I just read that. Gabby said to us, Denny also cannot continue to be both president and treasurer. So I suggest you put a call out for one on Facebook with a vote to happen next meeting. Unfortunately, we were too late with this, as Denny had suspended us both. We'll explain that soon. So Denny wanted me to call the Federation lawyers on a different matter involving Tamara about the banking, as a lot of money was transferred to Tamara's personal account from the PNC's account. And it happened quite a few times, but Denny then said no, she wanted to wait until the old accountant who was in the PNC had gone through the accounts. This was all when Denny wasn't handing out payslips for around the 7-8 months. So whatever happened after that accountant helped Denny is a mystery, as top secret Denny never shared anything that was going on. Maybe because everyone would have found out how pathetic she really was, and parents along with teachers would see the real Denny and who she really is. She had fooled everyone. I've never met anyone so toxic, and still to this day she acts with a mask on so no one sees her for real. Unfortunately for my husband and I, we learnt hard, and she's still, to this day, the same asshole we tried volunteer working with. This time though, she's using the kids for attention now. She's actually using her kids for attention now. Yeah, so that was her saying, call the Federation lawyers. All right. Alright, so I mentioned to Gabby that Denny is no help as she's been telling me to ignore all emails from Tracy. This is because Tracy had been asking for when she was getting her entitlements as she was owed. And I believe that was the next pick. And I believe I may have showed you guys this before. But it's just a recap, like I said, going through. Those entitlements should have been paid the day or week after Tracy left, being the 21st of July. It's been 5 weeks and Denny has done nothing about the situation. Gabby also commented there does need to be more communication with the wider community or committee. Then Denny refuses to disclose what she did with Kayla's pay being given to the canteen manager. That was kind of it for her. And not submitting the ACNC statement. That was her job. All Denny actually did as treasurer was pay employees via bank transfer and sometimes paid suppliers. All the important legal stuff she just ignored. At around 8:20 a.m. on the 8th of September, Denny sends out messages on the exec chat about a few things and also about the P&C meeting minutes that I had just sent out. Denny says just a couple of things. I believe that's on the next picture. I'll leave it there for a second, just in case you wanted to read as I get to where I need to be. Denny says just a couple of things. Can we please ensure any form of comms is not sent out so late, especially around midnight? Okay, this top section here is where she says that. Around midnight, hey? Okay, these minutes are sent out by email. So really, real time does not matter as it's online over the internet. But apparently to Denny, they do. I'm just wanting to get them out because last month's meeting minutes were sent out a week after the meeting from forgetting. 2 days before this, Craig is sending messages out at 11 p.m. on the executive chat group, yet no mention of this from Denny, and group messages will make your phone ting or play music or whatever. Sorry, I didn't realise it was only okay for pets to play. Denny continued to complain about the minutes because items were in the minutes that were axed in the meeting. But everything that is mentioned in the meeting should be in the minutes. You cannot just pick and choose what goes in them. Alright, so the next pick. Oh, wrong one. Maybe I moved it or something. Did I skip one or something? Oh, yeah, it was the same picture, sorry. At the bottom half of that. If something is said in the meeting, then they're going to want to know what happened to it. Axed or not, it still needs to be written on what happened. Denny is just upset that she did not review the minutes and take out responses needed, or add things not important. I believe it's called trying to look like she's doing her job properly, where in fact, she did fuck all. Typing bullshit that doesn't follow through with is her speciality. She should have been a fart. At least those follow through never fail. The secretary does the minutes and comms. Denny is again just trying to control everything, as now she believes she has the power. Ian sent out an email to the P&C Federation asking if one executive could hold more than one position at a time, and the answer to that was no, they cannot, especially if there is somebody else to take the role. So this was the email. There is what Ian asked. Her responses are the ones all in red. So as you can see, no, she cannot hold it. The 8th of September, on this morning, Ian called the P&C Federation and spoke to a Federation rep. I asked if Denny had not resigned as treasurer. Do the votes for president now become null and void? The answer I received was yes. Therefore, Denny could not be president. We spoke to a Federation member and Gabby, our ex-VP, later that morning, and she advised us to send an email to the committee members regarding this information. So members could not be surprised at the next meeting that the president's role was still available. Nothing could be hidden from the PNC committee members, unlike Top Secret Denny always did. If 3 Federation reps are telling you that one person cannot hold 2 positions, and that the votes for the present position is now null and void, do you just ignore their advice and break the rules and regulations? We certainly wasn't going to be another Denny. One bitch in the executives was enough to cover the whole school. So Ian, as he is vice president, now becomes acting president, not by a vote but by default, as Denny's votes are now no longer valid after going on the advice of 3 Federation reps, and definitely not on Ian's say-so. It is just how the procedure and rules work. At 2:33 p.m. 8th of September, an email is sent out by us to all committee members on the advice of 3 Federation reps and doing what needs to be done until the next meeting, when Denny either resigns treasurer and takes president, or someone completely new takes leadership. Our email said, "Dear PNC members, this is just an email to inform you all that the next meeting, being the 7th of November, the president role will be up for nomination. As advised from the PNC Federation, not one executive can hold 2 positions at the same time until the next meeting Ian is acting president. Any questions or problems, please let me know via email or phone. Regards, Benny, PNC Treasurer. PNC Secretary." A little while later, I was chatting with Gabby and talking about the previous PNC committee meeting held 3 days earlier. We discussed the phone that was approved for Kayla in the canteen. All committee members voted on buying a cheap phone for just use in the canteen. But now Denny wants to buy a phone for the PNC and let the canteen borrow it. Yes, Denny just wants to do her own thing rather than do what the PNC committee members voted in and decided on. After speaking with the principal about this, he said it was a big fat no to Denny's little plan. Denny listens to no one. Denny was checking out the phones at Officeworks accordingly. While she was there, she says, "Looking at a smartphone, but not too pricey either. I think we need to get it sorted ASAP." Ian says in chat group that was still combined with canteen and events that Kayla should be the one to choose the phone, as she will be the one using it. Denny comments, "I don't disagree with Kayla choosing. We just also need to view the capacity of all phones." Ian said to Denny that it's a phone. It's not hard to work out. Well, for Denny it was, or maybe she was just waiting on Sleazy Michael to pop in chat and praise her for being dumb. Well, that's my guess anyway. All we needed to do was get a phone to make calls to suppliers. That's it. We didn't need a smartphone or anything fancy. A cheap $100 phone or less would have done the job perfectly. But guess what? No phone was ever brought for canteen. What a surprise. At almost 4 p.m. on the 8th, Denny sends a message on the exec chat and says she received a notification to find that there was an email in relation to the nomination of a new president. Denny continues to say, "I feel disappointed and disrespected that this has occurred without consultation." Alright, so here is her chat. In fact, there was. We told her at 10 a.m. about the email, and about her not being allowed to hold both executive positions, especially when there's others available to take it. It says pick 6. That was Ian responding, telling her again, screenshot whichever, I don't care. Next pick is here, Ian saying, Denny, if you want to be president, then I have no problem with that. It just means you have to resign from treasurer first. So as you can see, at 10:02 a.m, Denny letting you know that Ian has taken over the present role, as you unfortunately cannot apply for another role while in one already. You need to resign from your first role. Who was that? Who wrote that? I don't know, but this was me anyway at the bottom half. Okay, so that was sent to her. She was told, so that was at 10 o'clock in the morning. But because our names wasn't Michael, we were just ignored like always. We also know Denny would have just said no if we brought this up, and she would use her desperation on Craig to be on her side. As you will see, Craig became Denny's obedient lapdog. Covering up all Denny's mistakes, he would kiss Denny's ass every time she fucked up by lying through his teeth to get Denny out of the shit she put herself in. Like a hitman, but dumb at it. Craig and Michael are what you would call dumb and dumber protecting the ogre. On the 8th of September, executive meeting was called by Denny and Craig at the park. So at our town park, the next morning being Saturday at 8:30 in the morning. This meeting called by Denny and Craig breaches. Now, this meeting called by Denny and Craig breaches the P&C Association's constitution, as it states that all meetings has to be a minimum of 5 members for a quorum to be reached. The 9th of September at 8:32 a.m, Craig even calls us to see where we are. They were all eager to have us there for some reason. Not long after we sat down, Craig started talking about how a couple in the same business does not really work, hinting at Ian and myself. Denny says she felt disrespected by us. Denny and Craig then want us to send out an email apologising for the email we had originally sent out the day before. Ian asked Denny which role she was taking. She never answered. As we were still learning the rules ourselves, we just agreed. No minutes from Denny and Craig presented at any committee meeting about this executive meeting. Ian and I wrote up minutes from this meeting, just a feeling we were needing it for ourselves. On the 11th of September, we get an email from Denny. I am still waiting on your draft letter apology to the P&C committee in general and school executives for the email title P&C president role sent out to all recipients, as previously mentioned on Friday the 8th of September at 2:33. The agreement we came up on Saturday morning was to have this draft forwarded through to all executive present for per review by the end of Sunday, the 10th of September. Are you intentionally not complying to our agreement? I await your response answer. So rather than just writing it in our words, Denny and Craig went to review it and then, I am guessing, wanted to change it to make Denny look good and us look like the bad guys, then send it out to all committee members. If you think about it, if you tell the truth, why would you send out an apology for that? In pick 7, I must have to go to the next pick. Yes, I do. So in pick 7, I'm not sure what we're showing here. But anyway, it says, Denny says everything has to be approved by all executives and not a sole decision. But all Denny did and does are sole decisions. So on the 11th, 3 days after we sent the email to all committee members, Denny is still not willing to accept the fact that she cannot hold 2 executive positions at the same time. Denny wanted a copy of the correspondence we had with the P&C Federation regarding this rule. I'll scroll down a bit more so you can read it. Oh, hang on, now it's telling me to go to pick 7A. Okay, so next pick. That's that one again.
Just want a copy of that.
Oh, she wanted a copy of this. All right, so this is the picture she wanted us to give to her. But apparently, we couldn't send the screenshot. So we sent Denny a screenshot of the email that I received from the P&C Federation. She was not happy with the screenshot. We said we'll give you a printed copy. She was not happy with that either. So as you'll see on these next 2 chats here. Okay, I said I will not be forwarding the email as it's linked to a personal chat. So I can, however, send the screenshot of Ian and questions and Lorraine's answers. She says, unfortunately, I will not accept screenshots of the formalities. Are there. They need to be handed over. If you're not willing to do that, that's fine. Have a good night. I said, I'll print them out for you. If that's a problem, you can have them. The rest of my chat here. You can have them. Contact Lorraine about the chats if you have in hand. Either way, you need to follow the rules. I'm trying to say this to you nicely too. Not much else I can do, but I'll leave it in Ian's hands to fix, like all the other errors our P&C went through. She says, no stress, Benny. No need for the printout now. I have requested it formally via email, and you have refused to do so. I will not accept printed version. Have a great now. What the fuck is wrong with this stupid cow? You know, she wanted proof. We asked for it. We had it emailed to us. She wanted it emailed to her, but she wanted all of my emails, all of Ian's emails, that was linked to it that we were getting advice from. Why? Because she wanted to be a nosy fuck like always? Well, she wasn't getting it, but she wasn't accepting what we were giving her. Didn't matter how we did it. In the end, I ended up sending it to her, but I ended up deleting everything that was underneath so she couldn't spy and use it or whatever she wanted to bloody do. Anyway, I think I just jumped out of line there. So let me get back, as I've got a long way to go. Okay, so Denny said she would be contacting the Federation for the information, but she never did, as no mention of this had ever been brought to light. On the 12th of September, Denny calls for an executive meeting at the school library on the 13th at 4:30 p.m. This is it. So this is the last time you see us as executives. Now, we start with the real bullshit. Oh, this is where we end with being executives, as I just said. So she sent this at 2:19. Craig then follows up at 6:30, making sure he's got to make it loud and clear. They both have to. So that was their messages they sent to us to get us over to the school library. So now we start with the real bullshit. Denny and her minions did to us in part 8. So I am going to end this. It has been half an hour on this one. So I just wanted to add that what's been said up until now is basically bits and pieces that went on. So much more happened, but we just used some of the basic highlights so you could get an understanding of our story on how we started. Yes, some parts were repeated, but it's hard when going through everyone's storyline as we were dealing with things differently with each person involved. If needing to know more, tell me. I'll do up a podcast showing what you need to see. There's no problem, no issues whatsoever. But for now, I'm going to end this because I'm going to be going straight into the next podcast as it is sitting here ready ready, and as we see here, is all ready to go. So I'm hanging this one up, or stopping this one, and I'll tell you in about 2 seconds.